What is going on, explorers? Today we got another special episode for you guys, but before I even get into that, let me go ahead and play the intro music. What is up, explorers? Before this episode begins, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you check the link in the description below. Take you directly to our Patreon if you would like to support. You could support us for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. That's it. So if you'd like to support, make sure you go ahead, go to the Patreon link in the description below, and enjoy the episode. Peace.
Perhaps your skills do extend a bit farther than basketball.
As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are Chez Dante. And today, I should have untangled these cables before I started recording, but you know. As I was saying, my name is Dante. We are Chez Dante. And today we got a special episode because it's UFC fight week, baby. So today we're going to be going over the UFC 287. I guess the card. We're going to be going over the card, and I'm going to be making some picks for you guys. Excuse the background sound of all these cables. Anyways, so like I was saying, UFC 287, Israel Adesanya versus Alex Pereira. So that's going to be the title fight. But let's just hop right into it and go into the card. Now, if you've listened to any of the previous picks episodes, I only really pick on the fights that I know one or maybe both fighters. So that's kind of how we're going to be doing it. Right now, I'm currently looking at the early prelims. So we have a catchweight bout between Ignacio Bahamondes versus Trey Ogden. 154, 170. This is an interesting catchweight fight. They have Ignacio as the underdog. And to be honest, or they have him as the favorite. I'm leaning towards him as well, this fight. So yeah, that's going to be a quick one. Ignacio Bahamondes. Next, we have Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupi Godinez. This should be an interesting fight. Lupi Godinez is very wrestling heavy, very pressure heavy fighter. Cynthia Calvillo, more of a striker jiu-jitsu type player. Her jiu-jitsu is a little bit more on the patient side, we'll say. So, you know, she might not be really pushing the pace and looking for a submission or anything like that. Now, does Lupi Godinez have the jiu-jitsu skills to actually submit Cynthia Calvillo? That's an interesting. She probably has the ability to take her down, but to actually submit her, I don't know. Now, if it stays on the feet, who do I see winning? I personally think Cynthia might have better hands, but Lupi's probably going to be pushing the pace, most likely. This is a hard one now that I'm really thinking about it. They have Lupi as the favorite for this one, but I mean, if she's just gonna wrestle her, I mean, I could see her winning just straight Khabibin. That's a high possibility. And if I don't see Cynthia able to get back up, you know, Lupi might win. So if that's the case, do I see Cynthia winning by strikes or submission more than I see Lupi winning via Khabib, via wrestling? That's a hard one. Because I like Cynthia. And Lupi, the thing is, she had a fight against Angela Hill, and she wasn't able to take her down. So she wasn't able to implement her wrestling game plan. And that's actually a really good point. If she's not able to take her down, she's not really able to do much else. And for that reason, I think I'm going to go with Cynthia Calvillo. All right, so that's the early prelims. Next, we have the regular prelims. Going till I know some. Like I have these next three. We have Chase Sherman, Carl Williams. I only know Chase Sherman. Gerald Mearshite versus Joe Pyfer. I know Gerald. I think I know Joe, but not really. And then we have Michelle Watterson versus Luana Pinheiro. I don't really know about that one, but okay. So then we have Chris Curtis versus Calvin Gastelum. Woo-wee. That should be a banger. Calvin Gastelum coming in number 15. Chris Curtis number 14. Chris Curtis on the up and up. Calvin Gastelum possibly on the down and down. Who knows? I'm a big fan of Gastelum. This is another hard one. Let me know what you guys think for this one. Chris Curtis or Calvin Gastelum? I'm leaning more towards Chris Curtis. And I think I'll stick with that. Chris Curtis, no explanation. I think he's going to get it done. If he doesn't, I'll take the L on that one. But I'm leaning towards Chris Curtis on this one. And, Gastelum's a really good fighter. So this is like one of those like test sort of fights where it's like if he beats Gastelum, you can see him contending for the belt in the near future. Whereas if he loses to Gastelum, he might have to take a few more tries. But I think I'm leaning towards Chris Curtis on this one. Next, we have Raul Rojas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez. I'm just going to go with Raul. It seems like they're pushing him this fight, so I'm just going to go with him for that reason alone. Next, we have Kevin Holland versus Santiago Ponzinibbio. This should be a really good fight. I like both guys. Santiago's been on a resurgence, so I think he's got that going for him. Can I see Kevin Holland's last fight? Let's see his last, because he recently. Okay, so he's lost 2 of his last 3. He lost to Chimaev and he lost to Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Ooh. Do I think Ponzinibbio will be able to grapple like Chimaev? Not really. Will he be able to strike like Wonderboy? Most likely not really. I think if Kevin Holland stays focused this fight, and that's like most of his fights, if he's able to stay focused, I think I have him winning this fight. Next, so yeah, just to put a cap on that, I think I'm gonna go with Kevin Holland on that one. But next, we have a bantamweight fight. This is gonna be a good one. I'm excited for this one. This is like one of the fans' main event. Like if you're deep into UFC, like this is one of the main events for you. Rob Font versus Adrian Yanez. Woo-wee. Hey explorers, Dante here. Just wanted to remind you guys, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click the Patreon link in the description below if you would like to support. You could support the Patreon for the low cost of a caramel ice cap from Tim Hortons. So if you like to support the message, the platform, the page, go ahead and click the description below. Back to the episode. Off rip, I'm just going to tell you, I got Adrian Yanez for this one. I like the way he moves his strikes. They're clean, they're precise, they're efficient. He's got pretty decent head movement, and he's got really good flow. Like, his flow is insane. When he's flowing, he's showing what he's got. But yeah, no, Adrian Yanez, I'm just going to go with him on this one. I like Rob Font as well, but I think Adrian Yanez is one of these newer young blood hybrid type guys who just, whereas Rob Font, he's got really good, striking because he's got that boxing heavy, style. I think Adrian Yanez, while he is very boxing heavy, he's still more well-rounded than Rob Font, even though Adrian Yanez is a little bit younger. How old are these guys? Doesn't even say. They do have Adrian Yanez as the favorite, though, which is, I mean, I can see why. I'm picking him in this fight, too, but Rob Font is number 6. Adrian Yanez is number 12. Like, put some respect on Rob's name, but, you know, I'm picking Yanez. I think Yanez has got he's one of the, like I said, young blood, up-and-coming young lions just ready to go for the kill. Next, we have Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. This is also a pretty hard one to pick because me personally, I'm a little bit biased on this fight, all right? And typically, honestly, I should have a bias pick category and then like an actually like who's going to win category because, you know, my bias is telling me Jorge Masvidal. I just think he's much better striker, craftier striker, you know, good movement, knows what to do. Whereas Gilbert Burns, he's, you know, throwing haymakers and he's got good strikes, but he's not like setting traps. He's not, you know, hitting you off the offbeats or anything like that. He's kind of just throwing really hard punches. But the thing that Gilbert does have is world-class jiu-jitsu. And this is where the fight really starts for me. Like, can Gilbert take Masvidal down and then submit him? Because we know that Masvidal does have really good takedown defense and really good wrestling defense. Does Gilbert Burns have good wrestling? I don't know. I know he's got really good jiu-jitsu, but like, what's his wrestling like? I mean, past record, he did pretty well. Beat Neil Magny. So this is the point that I want to make. If he goes and fights Masvidal the way that he fought Neil Magny, I think Burns will win. The thing is, will he do that? This is Miami. This is, you know, this is co-main event. The crowd's going to be screaming. Does Burns let that take control over him, or does he stay patient and just go for the submission? Just boom, boom, boom. Takedown, submission, boom. Round 1, done. Does he do that? I hope he does because, you know, obviously I hope for the best for Gilbert, and I hope that he, you know, just doesn't take damage and just goes in efficient, gets a submission, whatever. But at the same time, there's a possibility that he won't do that, and then he'll just decide to stand and bang with Masvidal, which will give Masvidal the chance to knock him out. Now, the thing is, another factor is that because Masvidal may be overlooking Gilbert's striking, he might get knocked out the same way that, you know, he overlooked Usman's striking and then got knocked out. You know what I mean? Like, he might think that, oh, you know, it's just Gilbert. He doesn't got no strikes, no nothing. And then boom, straight right, out cold. That's also a possibility. They have Gilbert Burns, the 490 favorite. Whew. Here's another thing though. I can see. I'm gonna call this the Durandamy dichotomy or something like that. I don't know what to call it yet, but basically, another thing that I think could happen is if Gilbert is sloppy, right? And this is only like if he's just sloppy, not paying attention, he goes for a lazy takedown, right? And this is why I'm calling it the Durandamy dichotomy. I don't know yet, but he shoots for a lazy takedown. Jorge Masvidal, I think his submission skills is good enough to lock up a guillotine just from there. Once again, Gilbert is a black belt in jiu-jitsu, but in that wrestling gray area, he might get caught with something. Maybe. So that's another way that Jorge could win. Just not by fluke guillotine, but like by like slim pickings guillotine. Who do I got for this one? I like I said, I think it's more likely that Gilbert could win, but I got biased for Masvidal. And, because he's the underdog, you put $5 on a plus 390, you can win some money back. You know what? I got to go with the bias pick on this one. I think I'm locking in Masvidal on this one. I think my picks for the rest of the card will, carry me over. And then, I forgot the main event: Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. A rematch. Now, what do I see happening? Like, I think what I can see happening is, for this fight, I can see Israel, if he stays really focused, because that's a big key, right? Focus. If he stays focused and fights Alex Pereira the way he fought Yoel Romero, I think Izzy is more likely to win this. But if he doesn't, if he's going for strike for strike, and he's got to do that for 25 minutes. I mean, it only takes one punch, and we know that Alex only needs one punch or one knee or one elbow or whatever. This one's hard. Comment down below who you guys have got. I don't know who I have on this one. Once again, I have biases on this one as well. I'm biased towards Adesanya. I like his story. I like his fighting style. But this is primarily going to be a striking match, right? Do I think that Alex Pereira is a better striker than Israel Adesanya? I would say probably, only because he's been striking only more recently, if that makes sense. Whereas Israel, he's had more time to adapt to MMA striking, which I think is an important factor. But I don't think this is going to be an MMA fight per se. It's going to be like a kick. I don't know if you guys watch UFC, but it's going to be like one of those, like those Muay Thai fights that they have in the octagon or the circle. It's going to be like one of those, like no takedowns, 4-ounce gloves, just swinging and banging. Who bangs the hardest? Alex. This is a hard one. Once again, this is a hard pick. You know what? I think I got to go with Israel reclaiming the belt on this one. Just the storyline, everything. I think that'll be like the ultimate storyline, talking about how Endeavor just bought WWE, but like the storyline, if Israel has lost to this guy so many times before, and he goes through the gauntlet of finally making it to the UFC, gets the championship belt, this guy comes and then takes it from him, and then now he's got a rematch. Like, if there's a lot going into this fight, I think Israel can somehow, because keep in mind, in that first fight, he almost ended it in the first round if he had a couple more seconds. However, one thing I have noticed is that also might be part of Israel's tactics, because the same sort of scenario happened in the Whitaker fight, where he literally punched him on like the zero, like right as the clock was done, just set it up, boom, right on the 1 or the 0, whatever you want to call it. But right then, who knows? It's going to be a difficult one. I think I'm going with Israel on this one. And I just got to lock that one in, I guess. So I guess, this is just going to be a shorter episode because we're just going over the picks. But just for review, I got in the Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya, I got Adesanya. Gilbert Burns versus Masvidal, I got Masvidal. Rob Font versus Yanez, I got Yanez. Kevin Holland versus Ponzinibbio, I got Holland. Raul Rojas versus Christian Rodriguez, I got Raul. Chris Curtis versus Kelvin Gastelum, I got Chris Curtis. Skip. Cynthia Calvillo versus Loopy. I think I got Cynthia on this one. I was going back and forth, but I think I got Cynthia on this one. But that one could be a close fight too. Like I said, we can just see Loopy just grapple till the end. Gets a boring 15 minutes, but anyways, I got Cynthia on this one. And I got Ignacio just because bias pick. And then the last two fights I don't really know. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this episode. Quick, short episode. I was thinking of maybe continuing some of the other things I was doing in the previous episodes, but I don't think I'm going to do that today. I'll just leave it at that. Short, 20 minutes, in and out. Let me know who you guys got for UFC 287. Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. Until the next time, peace. I did forget to play the outro music, so luckily that the screen recording is still recording my audio, so I'm just going to play the outro music. But until the next time, if you guys enjoyed that episode, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys want to see next episode. Let me know who you got for UFC 287. And let me go ahead and play this outro music correctly this time. I don't know what happened. Anyways. What's up, explorers? Hope you enjoyed the episode. Just a reminder, once again, if you haven't already, go ahead and check the link in the description below to join our Patreon. There you'll find exclusive behind-the-scenes content that's not for the YouTube, just for the Patreon, just for those that want to go that next step further and support the page. So yeah, go ahead and check it out. And if you guys enjoyed this episode, leave a comment. Let me know what you liked, what you didn't like, what you would like to see, if you have any topics. But topics is for the Patreon members only. So go ahead and check out the Patreon. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. Later. Peace.
Further.
I'm sorry?
You said my skills extend farther than the basketball court. Farther relates to distance. Further is a definition of degree. You should have said further.
Boom. Adios.